Have you ever felt like the more you try to control life, the more it slips through your fingers? You plan every detail, chase every goal, push through every obstacle, only to find yourself exhausted, frustrated, and still surrounded by chaos. What if the answer isn't to push harder, but to become still? There's a quiet kind of strength, one that doesn't shout or struggle, but endures. The Stoics called it ataraxia, a state of inner calm untouched by the storms of life. And in this video, we're going to explore how that kind of calm isn't weakness, it's your greatest advantage. But first, let me take you back to a moment few of us can imagine surviving. James Stockdale was a US Navy pilot, a man trained for precision, control, and action, until one day during the Vietnam War, his plane was shot down. In an instant, everything he could control vanished. Captured, beaten, isolated, he spent 7 years in a prisoner of war camp. Not 7 days, 7 years. Many lost their minds in that darkness, but not James. Why? Not because he was physically stronger, but because he understood something the Stoics had taught him long before. You don't control what happens to you, only how you respond. And with that mindset, he led, resisted, and endured what should have broken him. So ask yourself, what's threatening your calm today? A setback? A stressful job? A relationship falling apart? If Stockdale could find strength in a prison cell, what might you discover in your own moment of trial? Stay with me, because ahead we'll uncover timeless Stoic lessons that can change how you face life's chaos, one calm breath at a time. 1. Calm is your greatest weapon. Picture this. You're a Formula One driver, hands steady on the wheel, engine roaring like a beast, the final lap stretching before you like fire on asphalt. Victory is within reach until the car begins to slide. In that instant, you face two paths. The first, panic. You fight the wheel, act on fear, and spiral into chaos. Off the track, race lost. The second, breathe, stay composed. Ease off, adjust with precision, and glide back into control. The best drivers aren't those who push hardest. They're the ones who remain calm when everything spins out of control. They don't resist the chaos, they work with it. Life is no different. When setbacks hit, at work, in relationships, in moments of pressure, those who succeed aren't those with perfect plans, but those with a steady mind. The Stoics knew this well. Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you respond that matters." Calm is not passivity. It is power, channeled with clarity. Modern science agrees. When you lose control, your amygdala, the emotional brain, takes over. But when you stay calm, you activate your prefrontal cortex, the center of rational thought and long-term decision-making. So how do you train this calm? First, practice the observer technique. Step outside the moment. Imagine giving advice to someone else in your shoes. This shift in perspective sharpens your clarity. Second, train daily. Even in small moments, like when you drop your groceries or face a rude comment. If minor inconveniences shake your peace, how will you face true adversity? Calm isn't something you summon in a crisis. It's something you build, day by day, breath by breath. So the question is, when life swerves off course, will you tighten your grip or master the curve? 2. Can you really control everything? Have you ever started your day with everything planned down to the last detail, only to watch it unravel before noon? You wake up early, full of energy. Today, you'll finish that project, hit the gym, cook something special. But suddenly, life intervenes. An urgent request from your boss derails your morning. A friend cancels dinner. A call you hoped would lift your mood leaves you more drained than before. Frustration rises, not just because plans changed, but because deep down we cling to control. We don't just want our schedule to go right. We want people to act as we expect. We want others to think, feel, and respond exactly how we imagine. And when they don't, we suffer. How many times have you tried to fix someone, to convince, to argue, to explain your way? A friend who never listens? A partner who just doesn't get it? A parent who worries too much? You push, they resist, and your peace disappears. But here's the truth. The problem isn't the situation. It's your resistance to what is. Naval Ravikant once said, "Suffering is the moment you want reality to be different from what it is." And long before him, Epictetus reminded us, "Some things are within our control and some are not." The more you try to control the uncontrollable, the more you feed anxiety and frustration. But let go, and you reclaim your strength. Try this. When things go wrong, ask, "Will this matter in 5 years?" And once a week, embrace what I call controlled chaos. Let go of your schedule. Flow with the day. You'll be surprised at how clarity often comes not from control, but from surrender. Success doesn't come from bending life to your will. It comes from learning which winds to sail with and which to simply let pass. 3. Be grateful before you complain. Imagine your mind as a garden. Whatever you plant, thoughts, emotions, beliefs, that's what will grow. Feed it daily with frustration, envy, and complaints, and don't be surprised when it becomes a field of thorns. But water it with gratitude, and slowly, something beautiful takes root. This isn't just poetic imagery, it's proven science. At the University of California, Berkeley, researchers ran an experiment. One group wrote down 3 things they were grateful for each night. The other group, no structure, just free writing. Weeks later, the scans spoke clearly. The gratitude group showed stronger activity in the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain that governs calm, decision-making, and emotional balance. The others? No significant change. Why? Because gratitude, practiced daily, rewires your mind to see what's working, even when everything else feels like it's falling apart. Seneca said it best. It is not that we are grateful because we are happy. We are happy because we are grateful. It's easy to wake up and immediately feel behind. I need more time, more money, a better job, a better life. But when has more ever been enough? The finish line always moves. Instead, start your day by saying, "Thank you," out loud, with intention. Feel the breath in your lungs, the ground beneath your feet. Before bed, write down 3 good things. Not generalities, real, small moments. A great cup of coffee, a laugh you didn't expect. Because if you don't train your mind to notice the good, it will default to the bad. And if you can't appreciate what you have now, even success won't bring you peace. Remember this, complaining changes nothing, but gratitude changes everything. 4. Think well and attract the best. Let me tell you about Elena, a friend whose life took a sharp turn just a few months ago. Out of nowhere, she was diagnosed with a serious illness, the kind that makes time slow down and everything familiar feel uncertain. Hospitals, endless tests, waiting rooms filled with quiet dread. But the hardest part? Her own mind. Every morning the same thoughts would echo. What if it gets worse? Why me? Will I ever feel normal again? As you can imagine, her days grew heavy. Until one morning, in the middle of a long hospital wait, she heard something in a podcast that stopped her in her tracks. It was a quote from Tony Robbins. "The quality of your thoughts determines the quality of your life." It stirred something deep in her. Later, she discovered that Marcus Aurelius, Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, had said nearly the same thing 2,000 years ago. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. And in that moment, she realized she couldn't control her illness, but she could control how she responded to it. From then on, she made a quiet decision. Each morning, before even getting out of bed, she chose a thought of strength. Today, I'll enjoy something small. Today, I'll smile even once. Today, I choose to carry light, not weight. And though her situation didn't change overnight, her experience of it did. So, ask yourself, how are you using your thoughts? Are they building you up or holding you back? Train your mind. Reframe the negative. Surround yourself with people who elevate you. Visualize success, not as fantasy, but as practice. Because calm, clarity, and success, they all begin with a single thought. What will yours be? 5. Your attention defines your reality. Let me ask you this. When you walk down the street, what catches your eye first? The noise, the traffic, the rush of people, or the sunlight brushing against the buildings, the sound of leaves rustling, a stranger's smile? The world is the same for all of us, but the experience is not, because your attention is the lens through which reality is filtered. It's like that well-known image of two people on a bus, one staring into a dark cliff, the other looking out to a beautiful view. Same ride, same road. The only difference, where they chose to look. Your life works the same way. If you fixate on what's missing, on every flaw, on every irritation, your world will feel heavy, closed, grey. But if you train your attention to find what's meaningful, what's beautiful, and what's in your control, you'll realize the view was always there, waiting. Will Smith once said, "Focus is everything." If you want success, happiness, anything worthwhile, you have to learn to filter out the noise. And he's right. Not because life becomes easier, but because you become more intentional. Try this. Go on a mental diet. Just as you're mindful of what you eat, be mindful of what you feed your mind. Cut back on negative news. Curate your social media. Ask, does this nourish me or drain me? Next, practice an attention reset. When worry creeps in, shift focus. Step outside. Breathe. Notice something simple, a color, a breeze, a sound. Reclaim your awareness. And finally, choose your circle wisely. The people you surround yourself with shape your mindset. Be with those who elevate your attention, not anchor it to negativity. As Epictetus said, wherever your attention goes, there is your soul. So choose carefully, because what you focus on is what your life becomes. 6. If you don't rest, your mind shuts down. How many times have you forced yourself to keep going when your mind was already waving a white flag? You're staring at the screen trying to focus, but every word blurs together like static on an old TV. You reread the same sentence for the 5th time, drink another coffee, and still no clarity, just noise. And yet, instead of stopping, you push harder, like a car running on fumes, hoping momentum alone will get you there. But here's the truth. Exhaustion isn't a badge of honor. It's a warning light. Rest isn't a luxury. It's fuel. Think about your phone. Use it all day without charging, and eventually it dies. Shouting at it won't help. Only rest will. So why treat your brain any differently? Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, understood this deeply. He wrote, "Even the sharpest sword must rest if it's to keep its edge. A brilliant mind, if overworked, becomes dull, clouded by fatigue, prone to mistakes, disconnected from clarity." Modern neuroscience backs this up. Rest isn't passive, it's powerful. It enhances memory, deepens learning, and strengthens your ability to make wise decisions. Think of your brain like a whiteboard. Without pause, it fills with clutter. Sleep, silence, and recovery are what wipe it clean, making room for focus to return. So how can you reclaim your calm through rest? First, limit screens before bed. Blue light fools your brain into thinking it's still daytime. Give it space to slow down. Second, build a simple evening ritual. Read, reflect, breathe. Create a rhythm that tells your mind it's safe to let go. Third, listen to your body. When it asks for rest, honor it. Athletes don't train non-stop. They recover to perform at their best. You are no different. Real success doesn't come from grinding non-stop. It comes from knowing when to pause so you can rise sharper, stronger, and clearer the next day. 7. Your mornings shape your destiny. Picture this. Epictetus and Cleanthes wake up in the 21st century. Epictetus, curious yet unprepared, reaches for his phone before even getting out of bed. Notifications flood the screen. Emails from colleagues, negative comments on social media, news of yet another crisis. His heart rate spikes. Before his feet touch the ground, his mind is already exhausted. Cleanthes, on the other hand, wakes slowly. He breathes deeply, sits in silence for a moment, and asks himself, "What kind of person do I choose to be today?" He rises calmly, drinks a glass of water, writes a brief reflection in his journal, and steps outside for a quiet walk, letting the morning light set the tone. 2 minds, 2 mornings, one ruled by reaction, the other by intention. Now ask yourself, who do you resemble more? Most people start their day on autopilot. They let chaos in before clarity has a chance to settle. But the Stoics knew that the beginning of the day is sacred. It's the moment you lay the first stone of who you'll be for the rest of it. Modern science agrees. Dr. Rangan Chatterjee, a renowned wellness expert, found that those who begin their day with intention, reading, journaling, even a mindful cup of tea, lower their stress and increase focus dramatically. So let's make today different. No phone for the first 30 minutes. Instead, do one small thing that gives you a sense of control. Make your bed, breathe deeply, stretch in silence, or simply enjoy a quiet moment. Then, visualize your ideal day. How do you want to feel? What mindset do you want to carry? Remember, calm doesn't begin by chance. It begins by choice. So, how will you choose to begin tomorrow? 8. What you visualize, you build. Tell me, has this ever happened to you? You decide you want a specific car. You start looking at models, colors, picturing yourself behind the wheel. Then suddenly, you see it everywhere, on the highway, in parking lots, even in ads. It's not the universe sending signs. It's your brain at work. When you direct your attention towards something, your mind begins filtering the world through that focus. It's not magic, it's mechanism. The Stoic Epictetus put it simply, what you feed your mind becomes your reality. If you constantly dwell on what's missing, what's hard, or what's broken, your mind will find proof of it everywhere. But if you start focusing on growth, solutions, and possibilities, your brain shifts. It starts to seek those things out. That's the power of visualization. Rania, a former client of mine, used this principle to navigate the most uncertain period of her life. After being laid off unexpectedly, instead of spiraling into panic, she began each morning by picturing herself landing a job she loved, feeling confident, capable, grounded. Within weeks, her energy changed, and so did her actions. Eventually, so did her outcome. Why? Because the brain doesn't fully distinguish between vividly imagined experiences and lived ones. When you visualize clearly, you prepare your mind to act. So, how do you apply this? First, create a mental script. Don't just say, "I want to succeed." Picture what success looks like, the setting, your behavior, your emotions. Let it be detailed. Second, surround yourself with cues that reflect your vision. Athletes plaster their walls with quotes, images, goals, not for decoration, but as daily reinforcement. You should do the same. Clarity brings calm, and when your vision is focused, your steps become deliberate. Success, then, is not a leap, but a path you can already see. 9. Breathe and take back control. Picture a high-stakes poker game. The tension is thick. Everyone holds cards, but the real masters aren't fixated on their hand. They watch, they observe. Because in poker, like in life, the winner isn't always the one with the best cards. It's the one who stays composed under pressure. Novices reveal everything: shaky hands, restless eyes, shallow breaths. But the pros, calm, silent, still. They know one truth: the one who loses control loses the game. Now, replace the poker chips with words. You're not at a card table. You're in the middle of an argument. Someone provokes you, tests your patience, tries to pull you into their emotional storm. Your heart pounds. Your jaw tightens. Every instinct pushes you to react. But this is your moment of truth. Will you explode, or will you breathe? The Stoics chose the breath, not out of weakness, but as a mark of discipline. Marcus Aurelius, emperor, general, philosopher, faced pressure few can imagine. His strength, calm yet firm, cheerful yet steady. As he said, "That is the man who follows reason in all things." When emotions rise, your breath is your anchor. Control it, and you reclaim your mind. Lose it, and you lose yourself. Try the 4-7-8 technique. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 7, exhale for 8. This simple act sends a signal to your nervous system. You are safe, you are in control. And remember, when someone lashes out, it often has nothing to do with you. Maybe they're carrying pain, confusion, or battles you can't see. Let them own their chaos. You don't have to join it. In the end, the one who shouts may feel strong, but the one who breathes, who pauses, who chooses their response, that's the one who wins. 10. Seek silence, find answers. Picture this. You wake up, and before your feet touch the floor, your phone is already in your hand. Messages, notifications, news. You step outside. Traffic, chatter, music from passing cars. You come home, TV on, more screens, more noise. Every corner of your day is filled. But have you ever stopped to ask, what are you running from? Most people aren't afraid of silence because it's empty. They fear it because it's honest. In silence, there's nowhere to hide from your own thoughts. But the Stoics knew this is where the real journey begins. Seneca once said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." And much of that suffering comes from the unexamined noise in our minds, worries about the future, regrets from the past, thoughts swirling endlessly. Silence doesn't magnify the chaos. It reveals what needs to be calmed. Think of Sophia, a corporate executive who always had noise around her, meetings, podcasts, calls. Burnout crept in, and answers felt out of reach. But one weekend, she tried something radical. No distractions, just stillness. At first it felt uncomfortable, but then clarity emerged, not from outside, but from within. Science supports this. Researchers at Duke University found that silence activates the brain's default mode network, helping us organize thoughts, solve problems, and connect ideas, like finding something in a messy room. Not by searching harder, but by pausing and allowing space for order. So how do you invite this clarity into your life? Start small. Spend 30 minutes a day disconnected. No screens, no noise. Take a silent walk. Let your thoughts rise. Then write them down. See what your mind is trying to tell you. Because in a world screaming for your attention, the calmest mind belongs to the one who dares to listen. 11th, use your hands, calm your mind. Let me tell you about Matteo, not a restless man, but one whose mind overflowed with questions. Observation wasn't enough. He had to touch, build, fix. When his thoughts tangled, he sketched. When anxiety rose, he picked up a pencil. He didn't wait for clarity. He created it. Matteo reminds us of something Leonardo da Vinci mastered. When the mind is overwhelmed, thinking more isn't the solution, doing is. Marcus Aurelius said, "Well-directed action brings peace to the mind. In chaos, don't freeze, move." Your hands are anchors when your thoughts drift. So what can you do? Each day, set aside 10 minutes for a hands-on task, writing, cooking, fixing, planting. Turn off distractions. Let the world fade and focus fully. Feel your thoughts begin to settle. Afterward, observe the shift. You may not solve everything, but you'll face life with more clarity, more calm. When words fail, let action speak. Sometimes, the quiet rhythm of your hands will say what your thoughts cannot. So, my friend, what's the first thing your hands will do to bring your mind back to peace? If you've made it this far, type "choose calm" in the comments, so we know you're one of those rare minds walking the Stoic path. If this message spoke to you, consider liking the video and subscribing for more wisdom to guide your days. And if you're ready for the next step, our playlist on screen is waiting for you, filled with timeless lessons and practical insight. Until next time, stay steady, stay grounded, and never forget, calm is your greatest strength.